Hey, welcome back to Genesis chapter 3. We're in the middle of the Adam and Eve myth. And so it's Genesis chapter 3. Genesis literally means in the beginning or beginnings. And that's where we get words like genetics or genealogy, where we came from, right? All right, so let's continue now that the woman or Eve was created. And it says, the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. So the serpent is crafty. He said to the woman, did God really tell you you must not eat from any tree in the garden? Which is obviously a falsehood, right? The woman said to the serpent, we may eat from the trees in the garden, but God did say you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die. So this myth has to do a lot with death and with knowledge. And the serpent said, you will not certainly die. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good from evil. And this is the thing, is that all of us need to develop a conscience, right? Knowing what is good and what is bad. When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food, so I don't know about you, but in my yard I have many trees that are beautiful. But it was not only good for food, but it was pleasing to the eye and also desirable for gaining wisdom. And how do we get wisdom? Except for by understanding the difference between good and evil. That's how we gain wisdom. Right? There are some trees in my yard that they are beautiful to the eye, but don't eat them because they'll be poisonous, right? Or some bushes in my yard. When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye and desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and she ate. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too. Then their eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked. So, eyes opened, in a way, means that people understand the social rules. Because what would happen if you walked onto campus today naked and you're like, I'm just naked, it's okay? No, the police would be called, which is too bad, right? Because let's just say that you were comfortable in your skin enough to not wear clothing, still you would end up being arrested or at least Baker acted. And so, because they realized this, they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. So, we have in this myth the idea of clothes. And the first clothes, according to this myth, are clothes made of organic plant fiber. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. What time of day here in Florida is cool? And I know this story didn't take place in Florida, but for me that would be in the early morning or late at night. And they hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man and said, where are you? And he answered, I heard you, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid. And he said, the Lord God, okay, who told you you were naked? Have you eaten from that tree I command you not to eat from? Can you imagine? This is the conversation that goes on from parents to children over generations. Did you eat those cookies? and the child's covered with the cookies and all the crumbs all over the child, and the child's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? And so this is the beginning of what we have, what I like to call the blame game. And the man said, the woman you put here with me, she gave me from the tree, a fruit from the tree, and I ate it. So who is Adam blaming? His wife. And who else is he blaming? Because the woman you gave me. Who else is he blaming? He's blaming the God. Then the Lord God said to the woman, what is this you've done? And the woman said, the serpent deceived me. And I ate. So, the blame game is for Adam, it's the wife, and it's God. And for Eve, it's the serpent. Well, the serpent did it. Alright? And how much of your life have you spent interacting with people where they blamed everybody but themselves? That's how humans are, is they like to displace blame instead of taking responsibility. So the Lord God said to the serpent, and this is where it's interesting, we have a bunch of punishments. We're going to have a bunch of punishments that come out. And the Lord God said to the serpent, because you've done this, cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly and you will eat dust all the days of your life. So, the serpent gets to crawl on its belly and eat dust. And eat dust. And then plus, the God says, I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. Now, this means, in essence, I don't know how many of you are afraid of snakes. I am a little bit. And this goes way back to explain why we are afraid of snakes, because they can bite you and you die. Alright, so for example, about 3 years ago, I woke up from a nap on Sunday and I was sleeping out in my screen porch room, which is outside, and I heard a sound like this. And I thought maybe a water pipe had broken. And I went out of my room and down onto my porch and then out into my yard looking for the leaking water pipe. And lo and behold, I came up to where the hissing was coming from, and I was thinking, there are no pipes there. And yeah, it was a rattlesnake that was this big around, and it was more than 5 feet tall. More than 5 feet tall. And cats were surrounding it, so it was getting ready to attack them, some of the many cats I have. And they were just all posted around it, watching it, going sssss. So because I'm a scaredy cat, I called up a friend and said, hey, I understand you like to eat rattlesnake. I have one right now. And he's like, I'll be right there. And then I went inside and made sure where my children were. And I told them, do not go outside. But I am frightened of snakes typically. Now my son isn't. He loves them. But this is this idea of where do we get fear of snakes from? To the woman, he said, so now we have Eve's punishments. I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. So, why? This answers the question of why childbirth is painful. And if you've ever watched anybody give birth, which I have, luckily so, it is very painful. With painful labor, you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and so Eve will love her husband. But her husband will rule over her. And this is the beginning of the explanation of where did patriarchy come from? Where did daddyism come from? And then to Adam he said, because you listen to your wife, think about that. If you're a woman, this is saying to your husband, don't listen to you. If you're a man, this is saying, I shouldn't listen to my wife. Because you listened to your wife and ate the fruit about which I commanded you, you must not eat it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. So Adam gets toil, and he also gets weeds. It will produce thorns and thistles, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return. So, basically what we have is a coming of age story in the sense that everything was good until your parents kick you out of the house and say, go get a job, slob. Adam named his wife Eve because she would become the mother of all living. Now then the bonus of this, and I'm sorry it's raining, so I hope you can still hear me. The bonus of this is then the God gives them clothes that are made out of animal skins, which is what we call leather. And you can think of the advantages that leather has over clothes made from vegetable fiber, from plant fiber. Alright, that's the end of it. It's good talking to you, and you're going to make a list, and I'll let you know how much you have to list about the whys and the hows and the questions that this myth answers. Thank you.